Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to real life stories. And the channel where I found them on is called Story Booth. So let's begin. So it's this one. It's the first one.
My best friend, who we'll call Kayla, wanted me and our other friend, who we'll call Lily, to come over for a sleepover. One of the things we did was watch a bunch of nursery rhymes for kids. I don't know why, but we were watching them anyway. One of them was about a mother cat and her kittens, and the kittens had done something naughty, and the mother cat goes, "Meow, meow, 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 you shall have no pie." And Kayla stops and she goes, "Danny roams the house till like 3 a.m. singing, meow, 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 you shall have no pie." And Lily and I look at each other like, that's creepy. Because Kayla's little brother, Danny, is adorable, not creepy at all. So for him to be singing a song at 3 a.m. in the morning is kind of weird. So we decided to make alternate versions of what he was saying. Like, what if he's saying, meow, 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 I just found a knife? Or what if he's singing, meow, 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 be prepared to die? It's morbid, I know, but I guess it was fun to scare each other. Anyways, it was much, much later. Kayla had been asleep, leaving Lily and I to talk. So it's 2 a.m. and we are talking about ghosts and things like that. And then we look across the hall where Danny's room is. And it has a baby gate in the doorway, which was open, and we both noticed that at the same time, and Lily goes, "I'm gonna shut that." So she goes over and she shuts and she locks the baby gate. She came back in and we talked for about 10 more minutes when we hear 2 sobs come from the end of the hall, and then a couple seconds of silence. And Lily and I look at each other like, what? And then we hear the sound of Danny getting up and walking to the baby gate, and we hear him laughing. It's weird for a 2-year-old to be laughing at nothing at 2 a.m. in the morning. We're a bit scared when we hear this smash, and Lily throws the rug over her head, and I look. Danny has thrown the baby gate that was locked and shut. He's thrown it open with such force that it smashed against the wall, and he just walks out, and I flop onto the bed and pretend to be asleep, even though I'm still watching him. And I watch as he looks around and then starts coming towards the room we are in. And Lily and I were both pretending to be asleep, and we're just like, oh my god, this baby is possessed. How did he do that? So he comes in and he just goes to Lily and he just lays down with her. And we talked for another hour, keeping Danny awake to make sure he was not possessed. And then when it was time to go to sleep, Danny decided he wanted to sleep with me. So I had to sleep with a maybe possessed 2-year-old for the rest of the night.
Okay, that was the first one. Here is the second one.
I was born with a rare syndrome called tilted disc syndrome. It affects 1 to 2% of the population, and I was one of the unfortunate ones to get it. This caused my eye to be in this awkward location. My parents didn't notice it until I was 3, and when I finally went to the doctor for the first time to see about the problem, they said they couldn't do anything about it. So for most of my childhood, I had to live with this appearance. This caused a lot of bullying, and a lot of kids to call me ugly, and a lot of kids thought I was blind. I didn't trust anyone except a few friends who I had who didn't care about how I looked. Around this time, there was a new book that came out called Wonder, so I finally decided to read it. And this gave me a lot of inspiration to stand up, because even though I was born with this weird syndrome, I knew I was still beautiful. It's just the other kids were too blind to see it. I got through my elementary school years, and I finally got the treatment I needed, so then I could have a normal appearance. though there were a lot of side effects. I did get sick and I got a lot of headaches, but that was only for a few months. And then finally I was good. But they had to plant these metal implants so then my eye could be adjusted, and that caused some weird facial expressions. So whenever I grinned, it would look really weird, and whenever I was looking over at someone, my eyes would be really wide open. A lot of kids started to call me the devil, and it was really, really sad. It's caused a lot of depression in me, though I thought of what the Wonder Kid, Augie, would do, and I realized that who cares? You be you. You're amazing. I just went with that throughout my middle school years. I'm a freshman in high school now, and I don't care how I look. I don't care if I have a weird facial expression. I don't care if I once was a freak. I just be myself. And that is what gets you through life. So to all those people who are being bullied out there for their looks, just remember, you are beautiful on the inside, and that's all that matters.
Okay, that was second. Here's the third.
It all started in 6th grade, where we were gonna do the frog dissection, and I was so excited for this because ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to dissect a frog. We were split into groups, but if you don't know, I'm an introvert, and I like to do things by myself. I probably could have done this whole thing by myself, but you gotta learn how to work together in the future, or else you'll be a sad, lonely man. Okay, now we were split in a group, and there was this bully in our group. He was mean to most people. He said a lot of bad things to people. So he was going to choose the frog. Now, when he chose a frog, he splatted on the tray, but it was like bigger than the tray. It was a huge frog. Now we had to check the mouth, and the tongue looked like it had been melted off. It was just disgusting. We don't know what happened to the tongue. Like, there was people crowded around us, and we really didn't know what happened. So now it was time to get to the dissecting part. Sadly, it wasn't me who was going to dissect it. It was another girl. Now, when she was dissecting it, we couldn't even see the organs because it was covered with eggs. It was really disgusting. There was a girl across the table who had a pale white face, and we were looking at her say, hey, are you going to be okay? And then all of a sudden she just starts to pass out. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Do we continue with the dissection? Do we, I was very traumatized because we weren't even done and class was almost over, and now someone in our group just passed out. Now the teacher gave her a wheelchair and rolled her to the nurse. We didn't learn anything because now class is over and we failed that quiz. And we had a reason to. Now, I don't think there's really a moral to the story, but if I can come up with one from the top of my head, maybe it's to don't be with a nauseous girl if you're dissecting a frog.
This
One of the
is
first things I
this
saw when I
might
was
be
born was
the
my
last
dog
one.
Leo. He was a golden retriever, and he had like long hair and all saggy. He was really adorable, and from like the first moment I really ever saw him in my life, I was just connected to him.
We did everything together. We played catch, we rolled in mud, we'd make forts and sit in them all day and watch movies together, and we'd go camping with my dad. He was always with me and followed me everywhere I went.
When Leo got older, he started getting sick and tired, and we couldn't play the way we used to anymore. And that made me really upset, but I still loved him like I always had. One day, my mom randomly let me stay home from school, then I just decided that, I'd be with him. We played ball, we played King Leo, we did all the things that I used to do with him, and I just had a smile on my face when I was going to bed, and I was like really happy and thinking of like tomorrow to play with him. In the middle of the night, my mom woke me up She had like tears, and she told me that Leo was dying in the vet. And I was like panicking. I was running around the room in circles. I asked if I could go say like goodbye to him, basically, but he was really far away, and my dad brought him. So when my dad finally got back, he broke the news. Leo was dead, and I was just really, really upset. I stopped crying for like 2 minutes, and then hysterically started crying again. And I finally started falling asleep. I kept glancing at the spot he usually slept at, and just wasn't there. The next day I just kept crying. I didn't go to school. I was so upset. And when we were standing at the grave, I was just crying because like I'd never see him again. It was just really hard because like the fact kept running through my head that he's not here anymore. I still miss him and walk in, sometimes forgetting that he's not alive anymore and expecting to see him. But I'm fine now. He's basically still here in my heart. This is my new dog, Van here. He just walked up. Yeah. He's like looking for Hi, buddy.
Yeah, it's the last. This is the last one.
Ever since I was little, I kind of knew that I wasn't the ideal skin tone for the world. I'm African American, and I'm not just, your typical African American. I am extremely dark, and it's always somewhat been a problem. I've gotten bullied about being dark by people at my school, family members, people in stores, and don't get me started on when I go to nail salons and they tell me that the nail color doesn't necessarily go with my skin tone and that I should pick a darker shade. All my life, people have called me nighttime, asphalt. They called me ultra black, and it honestly hurt me because I honestly thought that I would never be good enough just because of my skin tone. I remember seeing a can of paint in my aunt's room, and it just so happened to be white paint, and that kind of struck the idea that when I'm older, I'll just paint myself white and put on a blonde wig, and nobody will know. When I was in the 7th grade, I ended up thinking that I was never going to find a boyfriend just because of my skin tone, and that I necessarily wasn't good enough for anybody because of my skin tone. And it's pretty sad that I have to think that, because ever since I was little, I would look on TV, and I would never see people of my color. I'm 14 years old, and it took me, I'd say, 13 years to come to terms with my skin color and to appreciate my skin color. And for anybody out there who is fighting this, just like me, no matter what, you are a beautiful human being. Pimples, skin tone, weight, that doesn't define you. Beauty is beyond the surface.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.